animation style in Gundam GQX has just been phenomenal, and it's just sad to see that while the story, for a lot of people, it can be really shallow. There's just a lot of killing, and the context gets lost within the animation. I honestly am enjoying every single episode of this anime. Now, they could really go into a really deep dive, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be, well, at least for this season, there isn't gonna be more than what, 13 episodes. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be more than 13. Well, it's not really defined yet, so there might be 12 episodes, 13. But let's say we do 25 episodes, then we could probably get in more depths. But let's say there is like 13 episodes, then like it's like they're only doing what they can with what they have, the time allotted to them, the episodes allotted to them. And it's just sad to see that some people are bombing on the storyline. The story has for me been really fun. There's so much here that is just making my brain pretty much explode as it is. There's so much context and backstory to these characters within other Gundam universes. This one could just be another universe, to be honest with you. This could be a whole different universe, where Char, is never found ever again, and yeah, so we're introduced with Nyan and Matcha. Those are the main protagonists. That's the thing that people need to realize, is that despite all the chaos, despite all this stuff happening around them, the main storyline is about Matcha and Nyan, and of course Shuji, to an extent. And so here we have Matcha, and then the next girl over here is Neon. Sounds like neon. So these are the two girls, in question, who are the main characters. And, I like both of them. Matcha more than Yan, because Yan's kind of like, she kind of betrayed Matcha. What I'm saying. And then here, eventually, we're going to have them both fight, which kind of sucks because they started out as good friends, compadres. They're not really friends, but they're more like companions within the clan battles with the mechas, with the Gundams, things like this. So yeah, it's just sad to see when people just bomb on the storyline, when there are other Gundam series out there that you could watch. Like, bro, the series are infinite, bro. I don't think I'll ever watch every single Gundam series out there, and I don't ever plan to. This is my first Gundam anime since Gundam Zero. It's been a minute since I've seen any of this mecha fight. Or maybe, a little bit of Evangelion, Neon Genesis. I haven't seen that in a minute since it first came out. Like, holy. So yeah, guys, the animation for me really makes up for the lack or aforementioned lack of storyline. In which case, the storyline isn't even lacking for me. It's just that people, especially on my, I'm always on my anime list, so I'm reading some comments here and there. Some arguments about, oh, the storyline is so shallow, it's for low brain, pea brains, or some these ad hominem attacks. What people are gonna enjoy, and and then even here, some people are saying, if any episode has made me wish this was a longer series, it's this one. Too many questions arising to simply be asked, not nearly enough satisfying answers to what we've already been asking. So, that was from this guy right here, Plastic Robot. He seems to know what he's talking about with his giant fucking, anyways. But yeah, guys, overall, I've been enjoying this series. I may not know what's exactly going on. All I know is that one federation wants to beat the other federation, and they're destroying one another. Just like politics, bro. It's like they just make shit out of thin air, to give one another an excuse to go to war. Everyone's just trying to prevent themselves from being killed, assassinated, betrayed, backstabbed, shamed, look to be weak. And then right here, Cecilia, is one of the characters, killed one of the commanding officers. And it's like, bro, I don't know who these people are. But because this is about Matcha and Yan, it doesn't really matter at this point. It really doesn't. And it's sad too because I really don't know much about Matcha or Neon. You know what I'm saying? I had to look up their past. I had to look up, things like this. I only see their emotional fiasco, their debacles within one another, betraying one another, and now having to actually battle one another, as we see here towards the end of this episode. This was episode 10. Yeah, so guys, if you had to choose one animation, which is like Tibate, you know what I'm saying? You guys know what that is? Yeah, would you rather have that strong storyline where the pacing's so slow, where it's like a slow burn? Like, it really does feel like a slow burn because the pacing just got even slower and slower and slower and more detailed and more nuanced, which I appreciate. But at the same time, it's like, bruh, the animation is so bad. Like, the storyline is barely holding it together. Meanwhile, here, the animation is just superb. The animation is beautiful. You can just see everything within it. But the storyline is just so rushed. And we just need it longer. We just need a longer episode. We need more context. We need more nuances for everything. Every conversation that's been asked. Like, there's just so much here that your brain could explode. Just like this right here. The Kira going wild. Amazing animation, bro. This is just beautiful. Fucking incredible. Look at this. So, as you guys can see here, guys, it's just, you can't win in everything. You can't. Just enjoy what anime gives you. And then honestly, it's fair to criticize certain animes, but at the same time, it's like you're just grasping straws at this, just grasping straws at this point, Oh shit, look, they exploded? Damn, son. Take a look at this. Boom. That is all, guys. I'm just venting about the shady arguments online about animation versus storyline. Bro, if I could, I'd have both. But right here, we would need at least 60 episode anime here for this Gundam series because there's just so much context that we need. And then for Tibate, we just need better animation and less of the story. To like, not less of the story, but like a little bit more, get to the meat sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Damn, like they just, it was like a slow burn of nothingness happening. But anyways, that is all, guys. Holy shit, my rambling.